Gabby Petito never goes outside.
Today we are talking about Gabby Petito, a 22-year-old female born March 19th, 1999 in New York, was recently reported missing by her family on the 11th of September, although it is said that she disappeared before this. This is her fella. Makes me want to be sick. If you know, then you know. Meet Brian Laundrie, 23 years of age. They started dating in March 2019 and got engaged July 2020. Gabby quit her job as a nutritionist and they decided to do up a van that belonged to Gabby and wanted a life on the road. They also made a YouTube channel together, vlogging their experiences. Judging by both of their Instagrams as well, they seem to be having a nice time. Sadly, no. It's an absolute farce because Brian over here returned back to his family alone, with no sign of Gabby. Questioned by police, but stayed silent, because he's a fucking dick. Now, he's the only person that knows what happened to Gabby, his fiancée, but doesn't even seem fazed where she is. I think we've got a bit of a nut job on our hands here. I'm still a little bit ill, you gotta bear with. Last Sunday, they found her body. The FBI says a county coroner has confirmed that the human remains found in remote northern Wyoming along the border of Grand Teton National Park are those of the 22-year-old Gabby Petito, who disappeared while on a cross-country road trip with her fiancé, who is now being sought by authorities in Florida. Yeah. Brian's on the fucking run, ain't he? But I want to take a deep dive into every single event that took place leading up to this, so we could do a little bit of analysis. There is a website called where'sgabby.com that documented updates daily after her disappearance. The whole internet was coming together to help find this young woman. And honestly, it was a beautiful thing. Scrolling down the timeline, it shows normal activity until you get to August the 12th, 2021. This is where it all seems to start going downhill. So what happened on August 12th? Last week, Mo police revealed that they have been called to a violent argument between Miss Petito, 22, and her boyfriend, Brian Laundrie. Police officers attending the incident says Miss Petito had tried to hit Mr. Laundrie after she feared he might drive off without her, causing her boyfriend to try to restrain her. The incident was not deemed serious enough to merit domestic violence charges, and the police sent Mr. Laundrie to a hotel for the night, while Miss Petito stayed in the van. The police deemed it as a mental health crisis. Yeah, good one. The 911 call actually got released to the public a couple days ago. It was an onlooker that called in about the incident. Let's fucking have it.
Grant County Sheriff's Office.
Were you able to get a description of the intoxication?
Hi, can you hear me, sir? Yeah, I can hear you.
Hi, I'm calling. I'm right on the corner of Main Street by Moonflower, and we're driving by, and I'd like to report a domestic dispute. Florida with a white van, Florida license plate, white land, gentleman,
Where's it at?
5'6" beard. They just drove off. They're going down Main Street. They made a right onto Main Street from Moonflower.
Or what were they doing?
Cooperative, but what'd you say?
What were they doing?
We drove by and the gentleman was slapping the girl.
He was slapping her?
Yes, and then we stopped. They ran up and down the sidewalk. He proceeded to hit her, hopped in the car, and they drove off.
Okay, you said it's a white van?
White van. I can give you the license plate if you give me 1 sec. I took a picture of it.
What kind of white van? Like a big one?
I'll link the full audio down below if you want to check it out for yourselves. Props to this man for going out his way to report this. This is the first sign that we have that Brian can be violent. There's also body cam footage when the police arrived on the scene. Again, I'll also link this down below, but I'll play a little bit for you now, especially the parts that are quite questionable after what we know now.
You want to tell me what's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just some days I have really bad OCD, and
Okay.
I was just cleaning and straightening up the back of the van before, and I was apologizing to him and saying, I'm sorry that I'm so mean, because sometimes I have OCD and sometimes I just get really frustrated. Not like mean towards him. I just like, I guess my vibe is like I am really like in a bad mood, and I was just saying, I'm sorry if I'm in a bad mood. I've just been really stressed. I had so much work I was doing on my computer this morning.
What do you do for a living?
Well, I used to work at an organic juice bar, but I just quit my job.
Okay.
I was a nutritionist. That was my job.
Cool.
And I just quit my job to travel across the country. Down there, I don't know, we've just been fighting all morning, and he wouldn't let me in the car before. And then
Why wouldn't he let you in the car? Because of
told
your
me
OCD?
told me I needed to calm down. Yeah. But I'm perfectly calm. I'm calm all the time. And he really stresses me out. And this is a rough morning.
You slap your face or what? Yeah. Go ahead. Okay. So has he been drinking?
No, we don't.
Okay. What was up with his driving? This officer said he hit a curb. While you're driving? While he was driving, you were hitting him?
I don't want to go too far back, but we've been in Beyond Land for the past week or so, traveling around, and the flies here are pretty intense. So the flies have definitely been getting to her, and then my feet are dirty and everything. So I think that our little squabble started because we were hanging out at the coffee shop, and when we got back to the van, there was some dirt and stuff in the van, and I moved our food around. It was a little disorganized, so she gets a little.
Will you take those two?
It's cool. That's good.
So yeah, there's a few little things, little relationships. I don't know if you're in a relationship, but I'm sure you're.
I've been married for over 5 years now. So.
There's a lot of little things.
Yeah, I can go.
And
I get it.
We weren't physical before the point where I said, all right, let's just take a breather and like walk away for a minute. I'll lock the van up and I'll go for a walk this way, and you can go walk that way on the block. I don't have my phone. I don't have a phone, so she goes off without me to the car. I'm on my own.
Aggressor, and then she was striking you, and you received injuries. You haven't admitted to striking her. She has not admitted to striking her. The witness did not see you strike her. So at this point, you're the victim of a domestic assault. That even if you didn't want to pursue this, we don't have a choice. Tomorrow, if you want to, it's up to you. You can go to jail. You can't because we don't have a charge for you.
Take your radio.
If you wanted to.
Look at him laughing. Yeah, it's so funny, Brian, isn't it, you little prick? I don't know why police said Brian was the victim. I know in the clip that there apparently was a couple scratches on him. When the 911 caller literally said in his own words he witnessed him slapping and hitting her. Weird. A lot of disconnect here. It seems that Gabby had a part to play as well, and she admits that she did actually hit Brian as he was driving, causing him to swerve and hit a curb. But judging by that body cam clip, she was clearly very distraught and anxious, and he was just perfectly fine, laughing and joking, yeah? Psychopath. It's one of those situations where you look back and think, damn, that really could have been prevented. It's so sad. Due to Brian's response on the body cam footage has got a lot of people questioning whether he did actually leave Gabby behind on this trip. All we have is questions rather than answers, and it's frustrating because Mr. Muggins here ain't talking. However though, there's been more that has come out. Police have released a written statement from a person who witnessed the domestic dispute between Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie in August. Here is the statement. At approximately 4:30 p.m, I arrived at Moonflower. While standing on the south side of the street, I observed a man and a woman appear to have some sort of dispute. They were talking aggressively at each other and something seemed off. At one point, they were sort of fighting over a phone. I think the male took the female's phone. It appeared that he didn't want her in the white van. He got into the driver's seat and she followed him. At one point, she was punching him in the arm / or face and trying to get into the van. She eventually climbed in over him and over the passenger seat. I heard her say, "Why do you have to be so mean?" I wasn't sure how serious this was. It was hard to tell if it was sort of play fighting, but from my point of view, something definitely didn't seem right. It was as if the guy was trying to leave her and maybe take her phone. Not sure, but wanted to help out. I noticed another person had I noticed another person had called this in, and as soon as I left the store, I noticed a police officer and gave him my contact info. As more and more sort of comes out about this guy, he seems like a right scumbag now. Clearly doesn't know how to treat people. It's sort of heartbreaking hearing her say those words. Why do you have to be so mean? This guy didn't deserve her at all. This guy deserves no one. So maybe he did leave her behind. Who knows? What do you think? Worth mentioning though, a day after this incident occurred was Brian's last Instagram post, 13th of August. He hasn't posted anything since. But while we're on the topic of his Instagram, his description is him literally shitting with the door open. Check this one. Bug bites are better than being brainwashed by the media. Easiest cop out I've ever seen. This guy's more slimy than shit. Fucking irritating. But anyway, we move further down the timeline. August 19th, their first YouTube video was posted called Van Life Beginning Our Van Life Journey. This video seems so dark now after watching it, knowing how things have planned out. It's absolutely heartbreaking, I'll be honest. They look like they were having such a good time together. You just never would have thought that this would have happened. Again, I think it just shows how false things are perceived on social media. Next on the timeline, we've got August the 25th. Last FaceTime with mum, said she was heading from Salt Lake City to Grand Tenon, as well as she told her mum she wasn't sure what direction the relationship was heading. Now, keep this little bit of information in mind. Then the day she apparently disappeared, although we don't actually know for sure what day it was. Text from Gabby's phone to mother saying she was heading to Yellowstone, and also said the same thing to a friend on Snapchat. But her mum has recently spoke out about this text message she received from Gabby on this day. Gabby Petito's mother was concerned after receiving a message from her daughter's phone on August the 27th. After 2 weeks later, the 22-year-old was reported missing after a cross-country trip with her boyfriend Brian. Laundrie. Can you help Stan? I just keep getting his voicemails and missed calls, the text said. But Petito didn't call her grandfather by his first name, Stan. So there's also a lot of speculation that it wasn't actually Gabby sending this text message. It was Brian. There has been a woman that has come forward saying that she was sitting next to the couple at a restaurant in Wyoming on the 27th of August, the supposed day she disappeared. And this is what she had to say.
Matt knew he had seen this guy before and he could not drop it, and then it just clicked this morning. He woke up out of bed and he was screaming bloody murder, and he was like, oh my God, I know, I remember it was them in the restaurant. And it just I felt like my blood left my body. I was like, oh my God, you're right, it was them. I went to the bath. They were sitting right next to us, right fucking next to us, and we were both sitting right by the hostess stand, right by the front door. I went to the bathroom, I came back, and they were abruptly leaving, something happened. At first my first thought was they were displeased with the service and they were walking out, or they were trying to get out of paying their bill, but it was kind of a scene, and something that doesn't happen every day at a restaurant. The way he was acting, she was crying, she was upset. This had to have been right before she died. So she walks out, she's upset, she's crying, and he's more angry. You could tell it's more sadness for her, and she's crying for some reason. I don't know if she was embarrassed or what, because I don't know. I couldn't hear. I don't know what was going on. I could just see what was unfolding. And so she's standing on the sidewalk. I could see her through the front door, and she's standing on the sidewalk crying, and he walks out with her, but then right away turns around, walks right back in, and he's, kind of violently talking to the hostess, and you could tell he's angry, and they're just kind of doing the whole sorry, we don't know what to tell you kind of thing. You could tell he was relentless. He wouldn't drop it. Whatever it was, he wouldn't drop it. He walked out. He walked back in the restaurant probably 4 more times, just to kind of make a scene and just to get his point across, which I don't know what that was. I really don't know what happened, but she just apologized. I think she was telling him come on, just drop it, let's go. And she looked at the hostess and she was just I'm sorry.
I swear to God, Brian has got no fucking chill. The more and more that comes out about Brian, you start to realise that he is the problem. He was the one causing the scene. The restaurant did come out and confirm that the couple were at the restaurant. I think this was the last time that she was seen alive. August 29th, 2021. Gabby was supposed to meet a friend in Yellowstone. didn't show up. There has been 2 women that have come forward saying that they gave Brian Laundrie a ride as he was hitchhiking. The first story is this woman here called Miranda Baker, and this is what she has to say.
Okay, this is the text I sent my mom when we dropped him off. This just has like the date in it and the timestamp, so we dropped him off at 6:09. But as you can see, we picked him up at 5:54. This is off my mom's because my texts don't go back this far. And then, you know, it says we dropped him off at 6:09. So this is where we picked him up. We picked him up in Coulter Bay and we dropped him off by this dam. He was hitchhiking. There was no van. Gabby was not with him. It was just him. So this is what the dam looked like. We dropped him off at the turnout because this is going south. If you're going like this. He then said, I'm going to get out and I'm going to hitchhike, find a different ride. He said he was going to go across to the parking lot over here, which was filled with a bunch of people. Again, this is on August 29th at 6:09. So this is a map of Grand Teton National Park. During our ride, he said, well, before he got in the car, he said I wanted to go to Jackson. So this is Jackson. Like right there, you can see it says Jackson, south of the park, right? Jackson Hole is commonly referred to as well. So I said, you know what? We're going to Jackson. Hop in. You know, he was very nice. He offered us $200 to give him this ride, and we picked him up. You can see here, Coulter Bay, right there. It's like pretty north of the park. And he said he was hiking along Snake River, which is up here, and it kind of like goes down a little bit. And he said he was gone for multiple days, and he had left his fiance, never called her by her name, back at their campsite, which he said they camped in a dispersed campsite, so it's not a regulated campsite. And he was gone for multiple days without her, and he was sleeping on a tarp. When we picked him up, he had a backpack, long sleeves, a hat on, and scruff. He wasn't clean shaved, and he had hiking boots on, but he didn't look dirty. The only thing dirty about him were his shoes, and he was very nice during the trip, you know, very calm. We were making small talk. He was agitated when I said Jackson Hole, okay? So we were going south to Jackson. There's no other place in the Tetons called Jackson. Why he became agitated, I don't know. He just was very set on getting out of the car, which is why we pulled out by the dam, and that's why he got out. I don't know why he wanted to get out so bad. I don't know what other place he wanted to go to because there's only one Jackson.
Then we've got woman number 2, Norma, a resident of Florida, said she realised that she had picked up Mr. Laundrie and dropped him off at the Spread Creek dispersed camping area after seeing TikTok video. The TikTok video by Miranda Baker that we've just seen. According to Miss Jalovic, Mr. Laundrie asked if she was going to Jackson. When she told him that she lives in the opposite direction, he asked her to drop him at the dispersed camping area. Everything's legit. Everything's corroborated. I already talked to the FBI, she says. So booky, man. You just never know who you're picking up in it. Oh, the 30th of August 2021. Last text to mother. No service in Yosemite. Her stepdad said they never planned to visit Yosemite. Oh. Then September 1st, Brian returns to Florida without Gabby. 11th, Van was taken into custody. Brian requested a lawyer. Gabby was labelled as a missing person. This is the point where things start getting processed. 17th, 4 officials enter BL's home. An evidence bag was seen entering BL's home to gather clothes. Laundrie parents speak to the police upon their request. Laundrie reported missing. Now this is what rubs me off the wrong way. He was allowed to literally flee. He's still on the run, but we will get to more of that in a second. 20th, a body was found that matches Gabby's description, is found in a remote area of Grand Teton National Park. The next day, the body was confirmed to be Gabby. Awful. This is such a sad story, but Gabby needs the justice she deserves. So where the fuck is Brian? It is said that he is travelling on foot. It is believed that he has been spotted in Florida at 6 a.m. triggering this camera. I mean, it does look like him. The airline gives it away. Coincidence? I think not. We gotta get him. Police are using dog drones and all-terrain vehicles for the search, which officers say is complicated by difficult swampy terrain. They're coming for yous. Yeah, they're coming for you, Brian. The search for Mr. Laundrie is largely focused on the Carlton Reserve in Florida, which is close to the Laundrie's family home in Northport. Mr. Laundrie's parents say he headed to the, I'm not even going to attempt that creek, environmental park, which connects with the reserve, for a hike on 14th of September. He drove there in a silver Mustang, which they later collected, and according to their account, brought only a backpack with him. More details have come out since surrounding Brian, and it's honestly not looking good. New details also emerging about Laundrie, as he is now the subject of a federal arrest warrant for events following the death of fiancée Gabby Petito, whose remains were found Sunday in Wyoming. Laundrie used a debit card and a PIN number for accounts that did not belong to him, for charges totaling more than $1,000 between the dates of August 30th and September 1st, according to the indictment. Disgusting. Makes you want to spit, don't it? He obviously played some part in what happened to Gabby, but he's too much of a little bitch, so he runs away. His attitude and behaviour doesn't add up to what a fiancé would act like. He doesn't seem to care in the slightest, which sends major red flags, and I cannot believe his parents let him flee. His parents have since spoke out, obviously, saying they are worried about their son and that he might hurt himself. And I say, I fucking hope he don't. He better not take the easy way out of this, I swear. This poor woman did not deserve this. I'm so fucking hungry. And also, in new updates, I just want to talk about Brian Laundrie's family, right? Because I think they're so fucking booky. Their actions just don't make sense. Neighbours said that they saw the Laundries hook up the camper to the back of their pickup truck for a weekend trip away about a week after their son's return on September 11th, the same day Gabby was reported missing. The family would have returned about 2 days later, as DailyMail.com photos show, the camper back in the driveway on September 13th. When police contacted the Guthries over the disappearance of Petito, William told them about the family's trip, noting that it was unusual for Christopher and Roberta Laundrie to go off in such a small camper with their 23-year-old son. I don't know about yous, but me, something about that is really weird. I think this family knows more than they're letting on. I don't know, I'm just getting weird vibes from them, if I'm honest. But we'll see, only time will tell, because we're getting more and more information coming out as the days go on. Back to Gabby though, because Brian is a disgusting piece of shit. I wish to no longer speak about for now. He's a waste of time. A coroner made an initial finding that her death was a homicide, but gave no indication as how she died. We may not know her cause of death, but I'm praying that she went peacefully. Such a beautiful, talented woman. She deserved so much better. Rest in peace, Gabby. You were clearly too good for this world. Condolences to her family. I just wish there was a better ending to this story. I think we all did. It's taken me a while to get over this cold, so I've not been able to have much time to do as much research as what I would have liked to. So please let me know in the comments if there's anything that I did miss out. I will be checking them. And I will also be doing a video on my OnlyFans going through Brian's Instagram. That should be up soon. The guy's a fucking wobble, and I hate him. I think that's clear. Most hated guy in the world right now. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please take care, subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next ones. In a bit.